one of the things we're big on is supporting Christian businesses, local businesses, and you come across all types of businesses. You know, I mean, you got, home improvement, health and wellness. Well, if I want to make sure everyone had a happy Thanksgiving too. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you have the cameras on there. You can see the whole room. I'm looking at my. You see my big head? Okay. All right, we're filming, so you're trying to do 90 things at the same time, So anyway, health and wellness. You got all different types of businesses, all different types of organizations and things like that. I've never come across someone who had their own water company, who and this it's amazing. Chris Harrison is here with us, and he has a Alkaline water company, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. Now, the reason why I thought this was important to be on is because the amount of stuff that's going on with health, with the disease and things like that, everyone knows that they're supposed to drink water, but they don't know what's in the water. They don't know what's going, not every company is doing right by the water. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is nothing to make you afraid, but this is something to inform you and educate you about what's going on in the environment. So Chris is going to share with us about his organization and why he got into this business. But this is Chris Harrison. Come on, brother.
Yeah, got you. Thanks for having me on,
make sure
Chris.
you got to come up to the mic.
I got you. Thanks for having me on. This is Chris, the Alkaline Man, Family Springs. And, basically to tell you the importance, all water is not the same. It's not created equal. There's a difference. And basically we are a natural artesian alkaline water company. We get our water directly from the source, Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And when we go pick it up and we deliver it fresh to the homes, from the mountains to your mouth, mountain spring water.
Wow. And that's important. Why is that important?
Well, it's important to be connected to the source because the source gives you the information for life. So anytime you're disconnected from the source, you have a chance of interference to happen.
Which is exactly what happens.
Right.
We have the situation in Michigan where the water is being tampered with. And man does not necessarily trust nature, even though nature's been doing nature for a very long time.
Right, right.
If we live to be 100, it's not even a decimal point on the scale of how nature kind of knows what he's doing. God did a good job. I don't think God's trying to hurt us at all. I don't know. Why don't we trust nature? What is it?
Well, you know what? Man always wants to intervene because they feel like the life cycle has to go through them at some point, and that's basically what our water system is. In the day, is intervening with what Mother Nature does naturally through the filtration center.
Yeah.
We feel like we have to go ahead and intervene and put the pipes and stuff in, and Now,
a lot of people don't know this, but 70% of the earth is water. Only 3% of it is drinkable water.
Right.
And so once we tamper with our water system, we've now polluted the only 3% of the water that we got.
And what's funny, because it's all connected, and they're talking about there's spots and so forth in the earth where that fresh water is at, that if that was ever to become contaminated, it can really pollute everything. Yeah, because it's all one big cycle.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
It's just terrifying, the amount of people that don't know. So how do we know what water we can trust?
Well, that's part of why I do what I do, because water affects our DNA. Because it's in the food that we eat, and that's basically how God sends messages to us. I mean, we talk about Genesis 1:2.
Right.
God moved across the face of the water, so the information is in the water. So to understand what water to trust, you want to do something that's originally sourced from the earth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand that there's a lot of machines and so forth that produce these things. But we're going back to the GMO thing, and we're talking about man intervening.
Which has been proven that it's making people sick, that it's altering our humanity. It's altering us as beings.
Right.
You know what I mean? What got you into this, man?
Knowing that there's a disparity between urban America and suburban America, where not all water is distributed equally. So, you know, you have your higher echelons, the Fijis, the Evians, and those types of brands of water distributed into suburban communities. But then when you go into the lower economic areas, then you don't get that same quality. You get a case of water for $3. You know what I mean? So then it made me start to think like, well, why can you sell this water and why is this priced at this one and this is priced over here? And then that started having me think, okay, now you have a group of people that's acting a certain type of way in this environment, and it just really started to open me up to
something in the water. Then you researched it and found out,
right, that there is something in the water. Right, it's something in the water. It's made up into our DNA. So we are what we eat, but even further, we are what we drink, because what we eat is consumed by. I mean, it's fact about
they
water.
Even found that even your Fijis and then those top, that a lot of it's still been tampered with, and a lot of fluoride and stuff like that. Right. And it's funny because sometimes I'll try to get the kids to drink tap water, and they'll be like, no, it tastes like dirt, or it tastes like this and that. And it's kind of funny,
right.
You know, because it's not like it's a big secret. Then when you have the situation that happened in Michigan, that, you know, it's like, and I know that the owner of Nestle made a comment about privatizing water and owning water. Did you hear about that?
No, so that's the part where I'm at right now, and it frightens me because they literally have the power to control our future and our wealth. So, like, that's actually why I'm glad that I'm able to be on your show today, because I'm doing a campaign where hydration is health, water is wealth. Because understanding that is a reusable resource that we're going to forever need. And once you start to do that, the next thing is oxygen.
It sounds funny, but I get it.
You know, so like these are the things that I feel like if we don't understand that now, we're going to be so far behind and out of control of everything, because we have to be tapped into that source as a people and have some type of control. If you start to let them have that control over that, we're going to lose all types of rights.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, that's the thing is that when I think about what greedy people have done to the country already, the pharmaceuticals having the ability to cure certain diseases, but won't do it because, they want to make money off people, or just letting people, or charging outrageous prices and things like that. We don't want the greedy people to be able to block, humanity out of a right, which is water.
And it's exactly what they already have done it in a sense.
They've done several things.
Right. So, those are the things that I feel like, we're chasing real estate more so because it's land and we can really kind of visibly see that. But now water is the one thing that's really missing that people are not really looking. Now there's starting to become a water war out here because now you can see everybody starting to battle.
Yeah. You see it, like you said, Avion, what is it, Boss Water, Voss. And really you're buying the container. You're not even really buying the water.
It takes more water to make the container than the water is inside it. Right.
That's where all the money is going. So, let's see. So we got some comments. Okay. Oh, hey, Dad. My dad's watching. We're on Facebook Live as well. If you want to see it on the Coming Soon Jesus T-shirts, you can see it on Coming Soon Jesus T-shirts, or go to my page, Duke White Jr., and see it there as well.
Right.
And one of the things that I think is so important, now, anyone that's in health and nutrition will tell you that you're supposed to drink water.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no one, I think there's a deeper revelation of what type of water. Now, what's so special about alkaline water?
Well, alkaline water, our body, we're naturally cells. So the best way I'll actually put it is, you understand a fish tank, when it gets very green and yucky, right, it has that bacteria and stuff that starts to grow, and there's less oxygen in it. The water becomes very acidic because the fish eats and poops and all that, all in that same water, so you have to change that. So the way you change that is by raising the pH by adding alkalinity. Alkalinity is a base, right? So our body as cells, we are cells, and our body eats everything that we eat, and we are what we eat, so it has to be flushed out. And without putting fresh water in and having minerals in those things inside that water, our bodies are not able to buffer as quickly and as fast, which causes bacteria and germs and viruses to actually breed into our body. See, our body has electrical charges in it, and the thing that electrical currencies move through water.
Yeah.
Right. So then now you're talking about minerals and salts, alkaline salts. That's connectivity. That's connectivity. That's what your brain operates off of. So when they're selling you electrolytes, it's salts that your body needs to react and to connect. That's what makes you function.
It helps you think better.
It helps you think better, right?
You can reason. You can, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And since, okay, you just kicked some real scientific knowledge. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, because this is a Christian radio show, and we speak a lot of the spirit and things like that. But there's a lot of spiritual principles that God gave us in science.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of spiritual principles that God gave us in science, and sometimes we think, oh, I'll just pray for this. You know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, but also get the information. Because again, God is the one that created these things for us, and he knows how to take care of us the best. When we start getting into, I do understand man's need to assist and flow and things like that, especially since we've populated so much. It's like, how do we get these resources to the population? That's where man comes in, because God did say we have dominion over the earth. But I believe dominion makes things better, not contaminates.
Right.
And you see what I mean? So when I look at the failure in a lot of these companies, these water companies and things like that, that aren't doing things the right way, what I'm seeing is they didn't have a proper, an infrastructure. It was almost like, let's get the bare minimum done, instead of saying, hey, let's make sure we protect the quality of the water to get it, to get it to the population. And that's where these mishaps, like what's going on in Michigan and things like that, happen, and things like, So what is your opinion on how to get people? How do we get people more informed about healthy water?
Well, what we're doing now is we have to be more dialed into the source. That's what I'm doing with Family Springs. So we're more than just a bottled water company. We want to make sure that the people are informed. We want to make sure that it's informed at a kid's level. You know what I mean? To make sure that the information is relatable, because we'll go through chemistry class and all those different things, and those same principles that are taught there, they're not relatable to how it affects us, So it doesn't draw a real connection. And then everything that you said, you can't have a spiritual experience being dehydrated. You know what I mean? So we're so far disconnected, and then not to mention the whole infrastructure of our society is built and based off of water and the flow of it.
I think that's just the truth.
Yeah, so, everything that you said.
So when you say it like that, it's like our society's not built off water. But yes, it is.
It is. The banking system, all that.
It's just that we've moved so much other stuff on top of that basic principle that we don't, like out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and we were laughing, saying that people can go days without drinking water because there's so much other things to drink. That didn't used to be the case.
Right.
You know what I mean? That didn't used to be the case, and now, there shouldn't be. Your body will never be thirsty for a Sprite or Coca-Cola. I'm a fat guy, so I know. I can tell when I need some water, and instead of drinking water, I'll throw down something else. A soda or juice, and then you look and it says artificial flavoring.
Right.
You know what I mean? And your body's like, and what's crazy is my friend responds, I know, it's crazy, man. Notice we would never put the stuff we put in our bodies in our cars. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
We'll make sure our cars have the right thing, but won't make sure our bodies have the right thing.
And yeah, it's major. I mean, but that's the power of marketing, right? And because that's that one thing where you can look at athletes and you say, how many athletes or entertainers you see endorse water?
Your mom said nobody can hear you.
Oh, no one can hear us? Oh no! Why is that happening?
It might be just on that. I don't know.
What is it? It's just on this part. No one can hear on this. Where she says, "What's about the water?" Oh, see that they can hear us. Yeah, maybe it's just her phone that no one can hear on, because you can hear in there. Hey, Hope, go cut that radio on in there. And make sure everybody can hear. Yeah, but she said nobody can hear because he just answered. He says, "What store-bought water is good for you? What store-bought
Maybe
water?
it's on an app. I don't know.
What store-bought water is good for you?" He's gonna tell you Family Springs.
Yeah,
Family Springs water.
Yep.
Family Springs water.
And the best way to get a hold of it is going through our small businesses because that's what we do.
Go ahead and put out your information.
Okay, yeah, well, you can get a hold of us, familysprings.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. And then we also have on there Find a Spring, so we actually have locations throughout the Hampton Roads area and also in the DC area where you can actually get our water from, because we want to make sure that our water is, and this is why I was talking about the infrastructure. So we have to make sure that that source is going back into our communities that are deprived of that, and those are the things that it translate, because we're basically a microcosm of society, right? So that's the way our body is set up. So once those things start to become dehydrated, you start to see the effects of those in the environment. So yeah, you have to go to our current locations for that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I find it funny that with doctors, without even talking to you, you go into the doctor's office without even talking to you, the first thing they do is IV you. They already know you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
They know most Americans do not drink the proper amount of water. Right. They already know that we don't take it seriously. Guys, I gotta put it out there, and I am gonna put it out there. This is a life and death situation.
Facts.
It affects our entire journey. I can't explain this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. When the days that I will chug, because I'm on my weight loss journey and it's a struggle, I go back and forth with the weight. When I chug a jug of water or something like that, my back feels better, my knees feel better, and I'm like, nah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there is an addiction involved. You know what I mean? The sugar that you get from the sodas and things like that. What do you got?
Well, I was actually looking at this today that, God, of course, created the fruits and vegetables. And even in just natural stuff, just strawberries is 92% water. So is watermelon. Cucumbers, 96% water. Celery is 95%. Just think oranges are 87%. Plums are 85%. Sweet peppers are 92%. Spinach is 92% of water. Like, it's made up of that much water.
And then when you don't eat those fruits and vegetables, that's why that alkaline and those diets and so forth, that's why they work.
Realistically, we've got to kind of detox a little bit, here's what frightens me, man, is I've seen what I call the church folk diet. I am a part of the church folk diet. Christians love to get around and eat. We love to sit around and eat.
Break bread.
Break bread. There's too much bread, And if you think about the food that we bring our family's food to the table when we come to collectively as a church.
Right.
And a lot of times it's good, it tastes good, and things like that, and it's really tasty. But most of it's not health driven. I tell this joke all the time, and I say, when I die, I'm going to make sure it's nothing but vegetables there. Watch nobody show up to my funeral.
But even when there is, like, people say, oh, well, we got some greens there, but they were cooked in, like, fat back and bacon and grease and... I started salivating as soon as you said it, but it's like, well, then die. You know what I mean? Because now I want to say it to you like this, and this is very graphic the way I'm painting, but it's like, if someone killed a family member of yours, you wouldn't invite that person to the funeral. But when it comes to food, we'll invite.
Yeah, that's nice.
I
love that.
We'll invite the very food that killed our loved ones to their funeral.
I like that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Our mother, our father, our sister, our brother died from high cholesterol or diabetes or something like that, and we invite the murderer to the funeral. And we enjoy it. And we don't realize when we're eating, we're really going, who's next?
Well, and part of that because we grow up with it. So that's why I like to be into the side of the school. And we defend it because we have no other information about that part. You know what I mean? So like now you can start to see the holistic side of things that's starting to come out and people are starting to become aware of it. But it has to be taught at an elementary level. You know what I mean? And that's where we have to start affecting the kids first, because a lot of us grow up with these theories and ideologies early on, and then once we get 30, 40 years old and we've already
So and it's not just health on the inside, it really, somebody that doesn't drink water, their skin gets all cracked and you get wrinkles at an early age. And
if you get the person you're hearing talking is Crystal Hollowell. Now this is not a joke. She did not allow her children to drink sodas. I
don't do it with mine neither.
See, I planned on it, but I was surrounded by soda drinkers, and then I just broke, honestly, and I broke and gave in, unfortunately.
Well, I didn't buy them in the house. It was like a special occasion if we went out or something, but I never ever went to the grocery store and bought like a 2 liter of drink, like never, like not in my house. Like, I just didn't do it.
You know, and if we got to start looking at it.
They got enough of that in the world.
We've got to look at it like this stuff is like alcohol for children. Because we like the ADHD, all this other stuff. Our parents will tell you before there was a Fiji bottled water, before there was a Voss and all this other stuff. Our family will tell you ADHD did not exist.
Oh. No.
And I started thinking, everyone will tell you how hard it is to go to school hungry. But think about how hard it is to go to school dehydrated and not even know you're dehydrated.
Matter of fact, it was even funny because, anytime you got a scrape or a cut or something, drink some water, you'll be all right. You can bump your head.
Can you look up how water affects the brain? I'm sure you know. How does water affect the brain? Do you already know?
Well, water... it's the management system. So basically, the brain has first dibs on water rights. So anytime there's something starts to affect the body, you have to understand chronic pain. Chronic pain comes from dehydration. So that is the signal that signals the brain because there's something wrong with that part of the body, and it's telling the brain, hey, look, there's something going on. It's a signal that fires there because the brain has first rights to it. It's water distribution, and the job is to preserve water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
your brain is 85% water.
Oh, dude.
And it's all minerals. That's what the connectivity, your synapse, all those things, the synapse has to connect through alkaline salts, minerals.
And so if we're not drinking enough water, not only are we dehydrated, but now...
That's what the mental health stuff is coming into play.
Now we're affected mentally.
Yeah,
listen,
mentally
guys,
and physically.
We're talking about this. I will be as bold to say as, what if water is the key, like reverses depression?
The first thing it said is your brain, of course, is 75% water. When your brain is functioning on full reserve of water, you will be able to think faster, be more focused, and experience greater clarity and creativity. Water is also essential for delivering nutrients to the brain and removing toxins.
Yep.
So somebody that doesn't drink water, like, they're not living up to their full potential.
Can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's literally impossible. Guys, these are manageable things that we can do to make our lives better. When people talk about frustration, let's be real. One thing, this generation is on edge. All right, it's like there are a lot of people that are here on edge. There are a lot of people that are flipping out on each other. And when you look at the diet and all this other stuff, this stuff helps our temperament. Because when you're dealing with people, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a person out there before people, but dealing with people, you need patience.
Yeah.
And if our health is not right, then we can't think straight, which is going to cause us to go crazy and snap on people.
Which builds up stress, and stress causes an acid buildup.
And stress is the #1 killer of all mankind.
And now, if you're not, see how it all ties in. It all ties in.
So if you're dehydrated, you can't handle any more stress. You're already dehydrated.
Right.
Once you're dehydrated, you're not going to process any information right. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Everything is, when I say it's all connected, information comes in through your eyes, right? Your eyes is water. So we talk about light is information. So now when that light hits your eyes, well, it does two things. It either reflects or refracts. Right? Right. So when you look at somebody's pupils, you can see your reflection, right?
Right.
But as that light goes into, it refracts, right?
Right.
Refracts, right? So it breaks down the information, right? So now even when I look into your eyes, I'm still not able to see your point of view, right? Because the information is, and if you're dehydrated,
like
right?
You put light in a mirror, it breaks it down and reflects.
Right. So water does that to us. So if you're dehydrated, you're not even getting the proper information.
Jeez. Yeah, and now a lot of those people will be like, "Well, water's in it. Water's in the soda." Like, listen, guys, we're talking about that's distorted water. You know, that's distorted.
Right.
There's something else in the water, so that means that it's not actual water. Water. We're talking about water in its purest form is what makes the difference.
Right.
Not water with a bunch of sugar in it.
Right.
Because now your brain's getting the extra stuff that it doesn't need.
Dr. Batmakovich wrote a book. You're not sick, you're just thirsty. Right? And it was he's an Iranian prisoner, and he cured over 3,000 people with just water while he was in jail, locked up.
Just giving them water.
Just giving them water.
Because let's look at the process of somebody who's thirsting for water in the desert. They will have all the attributes of someone who is diseased and sick.
Right.
The chapped lips, the skin starts to crack, the sluggishness, the stomach aches, the cramps. All of that stuff comes when you're dehydrated.
And we confuse thirst with dehydration. It's two different
things.
It is two different things, because hydration the water has to get inside the cells. Thirst is just basically outside the cells, and that you'll pee that out real quickly and so forth. But if the cells aren't hydrated, then you're still losing, because it has to go inside the cell.
Now, ladies, listen. This has everything to do with your aging process.
Everybody getting the tight lipo and all these different types of things. Yeah, you know, and that's why I said it's relatable to the environment, in the sense of, if you go into an inner city area and you see the cracked streets, the potholes, the abandoned buildings, just imagine how that looks when your veins don't have water rushing through them and able to transmit. It dries up, right? Now you have cracked skin and wrinkles and all that side of right.
I mean, think about the worst area you can think about, and there's sections in your body that look like that because it's not getting hydrated properly. So listen to what he just said. He just said that thirst is one thing, hydration is another. You have to make sure that your cells. Have you ever valued yourself on a cellular level? Or have you only valued yourself? I'm asking you people a question. Think about this. Have you valued yourself on a cellular level? Have you only valued yourself on an emotional level, a financial level, and how you appear to others level? If you truly take time to value yourself on a cellular level, this will change your perspective of what's possible for you. It'll automatically put you... I'm so tired of people saying things like, the rich do this and the rich people do that. It's like, no, informed people. There's information. You want to know why the rich people do things differently? Because they find out about stuff.
And they know it. So this is why it's a harder of a fight for us down here, because not only do the rich people have the water and the information, so they're able to lock us up, and we're in a stressed society and dehydrated.
I don't know if they lock us out. I think here's what happens: they just keep moving so far forward they don't look back.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason why I know is because America's a very tricky place. This is what I believe about America. They make the event. I call it the nation of if the shoe fits. They let you decide who you're going to be, what's informed. I think it went from completely an oppressive place to be if you were not a white male. It was a completely oppressive place to be for women, for minorities, and things like that. But then once the revelation that we needed each other came out, it became about who's ever going to be the most informed. And it's almost like if you can't get the people in one community to receive your message, but there's a hungry group of people over here, you got to go where you're celebrated.
Right.
You got to go. You see what I'm saying? So if there's somebody, if you meet an investor and say, I believe in you, I'm dropping $20 million on you. You see what I mean?
So, and that's particularly why I try to stay inside my area, because, you know, we go out, and that's basically what selling out is. You know what I mean? You sell outside of your community, and then you end up losing the influence.
The community.
Yeah, the community, right? Because the support has to come from within. And we're distracted from the outside influences, and we end up chasing that, and then your obligation and responsibility becomes to that.
And this is very important, because I totally believe in you. And this is the situation. I think that being that warrior, standing for your community, is people need a real hero. You know what I mean? Captain America and the Avengers, that's all fine and dandy, but we need a hero. We need real heroes in our communities.
Oh, yeah.
You know, willing to bring information like this.
Right.
And be mindful. What happens to most heroes?
Yeah.
They get attacked by their own people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people say, man, this don't matter. Man, this don't matter. You know, and I just want to encourage you, no matter what.
You say the same thing with Jesus, right?
You say the same thing with Jesus. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jesus. Man, I just want to encourage you to do what you do no matter what. Because usually the hardest people that it is to reach is the people you're trying to reach.
Right.
You know what I mean? The people you're trying to reach. And my son was looking through the scriptures, and he was a little confused. He saw a Bible verse where God is talking about his own people, and he says, my people are hard-headed, you know, they're hard-hearted, they don't listen, they don't know, and he was like, but they'll know that a prophet was amongst them. And so with the information you're doing, man, I say keep going, man, use social media, do what you do. Man, I'm going to push you, I want to promote you and tell people about, you know, your company, and just talk about the information, because I see... So it can change. This could revolutionize even the poorest of areas. Because here's the thing, poverty can't stop healthy thinkers.
Absolutely can't.
Poverty cannot. It may stop you from being fashionable to a certain degree. It may stop you from not being able to waste your money. Mm-hmm. But poverty cannot stop you from healthy thinking.
No.
As long as you make because back to being frustrated. I understand a child that can't learn because their stomach is growling. I get it. And we have addressed that in America about hunger in America, but I am 40 years old and I do not remember ever having this conversation about hydration and how that can affect your ability to think.
Right. It's never been in the marketing plan. And that's my thing. It's like, when you're locked out of the information, you can solicit everything else inside that marketing budget and that marketing plan. Cokes, Pepsis, vacations, you know, all these different types of things, shoes to wear, clothes. Right. But how many times do you see a water company promoted about hydration and getting that NFL spotlight, you know, at halftime?
Yeah, one thing I think is wrong, like in the school system, is a lot of teachers schools have a rule that kids can't have water in the classroom. Now, I understand anything sugary, anything that gets bugs, anything, I completely understand that. But every kid should be allowed to have some type of bottle of water, as long as it has a top on it, at their exposure every single day. They should not go all day long with only being able to drink water at lunch.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I know my daughter, they are allowing that with the water bottles. And they're starting to, yeah, you're right, though. Yeah.
Have got onto that yet. And that's a bandwagon that all schools need to get onto, because a lot of schools are still not allowing water in the classroom. And I think that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they'll say, well, you can ask to go get a drink of water, but we all know that not all teachers are going to let you do that. Like, that's not going to happen, and that interrupts the class.
And I think there's two parts to that, because then it's like everybody's going to be getting up to go to the bathroom,
so
and then it's just like...
to have a bottle of water, as long as it has a top on it, and they're responsible with it, then, you know, they should have that all day long. They should be able to carry water around it, whether it's in a thermos, you know, depending on their age, or just a bottle. Like, I think that's something I think should change. And some schools are, and I think that's great, but not all of them are.
Right.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you, brother, for coming on. We really appreciate it. You're actually going to see more Chris Harrison. We're going to be doing a story on him on Real Life with Duke White, talking about how he got into the business, how he started this, and to just get on a deeper, intimate level. I just wanted to have him come on the show, do an introduction, put out some basic information. You guys now know how profound this subject really is. And when we do this production, it's going to be really cool because we're going to show how the water goes through the body. We're going to get footage of all of that. It's going to be a really cool production that we do. And, you know, just talking about the importance of water, and it's going to feature Family Springs. So we want you guys to check it out. We'll let you know as soon as the production's done. We got to get to work on it. But again, let's put out your website again.
FamilySprings.com. Please make sure you go through there. We have special plans, referral packages. Like I said, we're all about recycling, right? And referrals and reusing, you know what I mean, the information of water, because it's going to be continuously something that we're going to forever have to purchase.
Guys, please listen. This is not a joke, man. I don't even want to stop the segment, honestly. Please consider what I said about valuing yourself on a cellular level. My kids are here right now, and I'm telling y'all, you gotta value yourself on a cellular level. We just found out today. I wish I had known this, but I didn't. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I knew this. There is a difference between thirst and dehydration. That is not okay. I understand that if your cells are dehydrated, not only are you aging, but it is going to be a long, painful process. It's a long death. I was going to say process. He's like, no, dude, this is death. This is a long...
It's imminent.
This is a guarantee. If you're not putting the right water and the right amount of water in your body, you are killing yourself. Is that clear?
That's a fact.
This is not a game. We're talking about the minerals that give you the ability to process, to think properly. This is not a game, guys. This is not a joke. Your life is on the line. And let's do the website again.
FamilySprings.com. Check us out. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Family Springs.
Now, real quick, is there anything people should know? Is it going to taste different? Is there any fluoride? What?
Right.
You know?
So there's different types, because fluoride is of the earth, and what happens is fluoride on that periodic table of elements is so close to attaching. Yeah, right. So there's fluorine in water, and just because it's a natural element, but we don't want to make sure that we get too much of it, or you know, it attaches to certain other things that makes it something else, because it's all chemically.
And that's what these the mainstream companies have been doing.
Right, they've been finding different ways, because the only way it is right, and then they want to find out how to get rid of it, because it becomes a byproduct, you know, of other things that they actually make with it.
Like helps your teeth if you drink water with fluoride.
And now I'm gonna tell you, I get at my every time they try to give my daughter that every time, and I shut it down because they can't even answer the question. Anytime you try to give fluoride is in everything that you eat and drink, because it's in the earth. But yet you're gonna say the child is fluoride deficient. I used to be a dental tech too, so, and you're gonna say that my child is fluoride deficient. How is she fluoride deficient, and how do you measure a fluoride deficiency child if fluoride is in everything? It's in your shower. It's in the food that you eat, because water travels through everything. It's in the waters that you drink. So,
yes, he's like, stop lying.
So I'm just saying, like, how can you know, why does it need to be on the teeth? You eat, drink, all that stuff, it goes through. So, I mean, somebody has to explain that to me, at least. But they weren't able to do that.
You know, and that's the thing, is that I think that we have to learn how to get information ourselves. Because here's what I know, what people will do. People who are willing to be informed, once they can talk over you because you're not willing to be informed, they can find a little bit of truth and add stuff to you, to it, and tell you something completely ridiculous with a straight face. And because they were willing to do a little bit more than you, they now can hold your entire life hostage.
And we give it to the, you know what I mean, because doctors do go through an extensive training, right? But you know, the introductory part of, you know, a doctor's course is cellular biology, and that's in the early part, before they actually get into their concentration, right? So at some point they deter, and I mean they kind of go away. They kind of go away from the source which is everything is on a cellular
Even
level.
when you think about medication causing dry mouth and dehydration,
Right.
that's actually a form of dehydration in itself.
Everything, when I was talking about chronic pain, it all stimulates from dehydration.
Me being a big fat guy, I'm telling you, I feel the difference when I drink water. You know, when I drink water, I have the energy, and sometimes I forget that I'm a big fat guy. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, I forget because I have the energy. My knees don't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. I can't sit here and lie and tell you that, you know, I do know that. This is my belief. This is my little philosophy. Here's what happens. Anything that's pure, good, and natural does not have exaggeration in it. Like an apple has the right amount of sugar in it.
Right.
You know, so there's no exaggeration. Things that are man-made that they're trying to make you want their product, exaggeration is put in there, and it makes you go, wow, but they had to put more sugar, more salt, more... You know what I
I
mean?
definitely want it, because that is such a great point, because I've been doing this for 3 years. And the fact of the matter is, everybody wants to know what my pH is. pH wasn't a big thing. Fiji is 7.7. I was 7.8, right? Wasn't a big thing until now, you know, other brands of water start to come out, and it's basically the supersize. What's the 9.5? Where is this? What pH is this? Listen, your pancreas operates at about at pH of 8. There's nothing in your body that is a 9 or 10, all right? And your pancreas has one of the biggest roles and responsibility because it has to. Now, it has to bring that chum and all the processed food into your intestines. Otherwise, that acid will burn a hole through your intestines.
Wow.
So it has to neutralize the acidic effect of the stomach before it goes into your intestines. So that has one of those biggest roles in the body to actually neutralize. And yet we already know what the acid in the stomach is about a 2, right? So you mean to tell me that 8 can basically neutralize that 2?
Wow. That's the reason why that's profound is because of the fact that you went ahead and you indulged the people. You tell the people the pH, which is about 7.8. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what's funny is when we talk about, like, this is what I mean. If you're healthy, when was the last time you thought about your pancreas and the condition it is in? You know, if you're healthy, you see what I'm saying?
Or your kidneys, that filters everything.
Because what's happening is that when we're healthy, we're neglecting what makes the body work. So we're dumping the stuff in. A friend of mine said, people who die in their 60s are not dying from their 60s. They're dying from what they've done to their bodies the entire time.
So that.
Do you see what I mean? So it's like think about the amount of water that's supposed to be in your body, that your body has supposed to experience by the time that you're 60. And if it doesn't have that, it can't function past 60. You see what I mean? So what we've got to do is we've got to get back to getting the right information so we can get back to life, back to living again. Let's put out the website one more time.
Got me in the middle of it.
Yeah, you're taking a nice little sip there.
FamilySprings.com.
All right.
And please make sure that, like I said, I'm going on a campaign at this point where I'm going to be actually informing and letting people know exactly what we're doing. Health to hydration, water is wealth.
All right. All right, so this is Chris Harrison. We'll be back. We got more for you. More guests coming in on this Thanksgiving weekend. God bless you guys. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming, brother. God bless you, man.
Yeah, you know.
That was he's here. The man himself, Jonathan, man, is here. Man, this brother got his own family. He got his own water company.
Seeing nice seeing you again.
Hey, he owns a coffee shop, man. You should get some of the water put in the coffee shop.
Sounds great to me.
Hey, wow.
How you doing, man?
Jonathan,
Nice to meet you, man.
You got Jonathan Manis here from Coffee Sheepers up in here. Oh, Pastor,
What's up, family? Told you what's going on today.
I'm not
We only just beginning.
I just want to digress.
How you doing, Crystal?